Welcome everybody to IGN Plays Live with State of Decay 2. It is the first time this game's ever been shown in a live capacity. Very excited to be here. I'm Ryan McCaffrey from IGN, and I'm joined by two of the senior-most folks from Undead Labs, the developers of State of Decay 2. We've got the design director, Richard Foge.
Hello.
And, of course, the head of the studio, who's also the executive producer on the game, Jeff Strain.
Howdy.
Thank you both so much for coming. We are looking at State of Decay 2. Running on a PC right now, but it is, of course, also on its way to the Xbox One family of consoles. Richard, you're driving.
I am driving.
You've got some saves queued up. At what point of the game are we sort of starting in here?
So these would be this particular one. I just jumped into this fancy, very large base. So they were sort of a mid-game community that I'm pushing ahead a little bit. Dealing with a little bit of stuff. I had a siege earlier or something got damaged and I need to fix up this urgent care center. But like I said, I just moved in, so there's a lot of cool stuff that we can build here and a lot of planning that we can do with this brand new base.
All right, so I want to give the sort of warm up on what exactly State of Decay 2 is, if people aren't super familiar. But what are you gonna start? What's your first goal here as we get this stream going?
So initially, like I said, I just settled into this base. So I want to make sure that I can start building out some of this infrastructure. So typically what I like to do when I get into a big base is look at what's going on with my resources. Obviously one of the big needs, because I have a very large community with 8 people in it, is where's my food coming from? So that's going to be a driving force. I also don't have enough
beds.
The materials are being sapped by beds. Fortunately for me, I have a lot of materials right now, but it's going to drain pretty quickly.
Yeah.
So I want to start to shore up some of those loose ends. I have 2 outposts available to me right now. One is already bringing in food. I might want to do the same with the other, and then I need to start upgrading various facilities in my base so that I can start, dealing with all of these problems that we already have in this new spot.
All right, so as folks are seeing, and if you're not familiar with State of Decay, it is a zombie apocalypse survival game, but you're already seeing here, there's a lot of deep systems going on.
Right.
This is sort of secretly a role-playing game. That's the magic of State of Decay, at least for me. Would you guys agree with the assessment that this is really an RPG?
Yes, yeah, it definitely blends third-person action, RPG, base building, and puts it in this simulated world, and it's all the systems together that we don't refer to it as an RPG, we call it survival fantasy, right? And that's like, we're not trying to necessarily go out there and kind of coin our own, genre term, but it does seem the best way to summarize what it is that we're actually trying to express with all these systems working together is, letting you live out your own survival fantasy.
All right, Richard, so I'm going to finish up your building, maybe head out into the world.
Yeah, I'm just going to start an upgrade here on this, because this will allow me to get further facility, or another outpost when it finally completes in about 2 minutes. And we'll run out in the world and try to go secure some more food. Usually I have a pretty straightforward loop for doing that. I have a lot of information about the area in this map because I've been playing in this game for quite a bit. So usually I jump into the map screen and start to look around and see, if I've got locations nearby that have a high chance of getting me the specific resources that I'm looking for. So this place, potential resources you can see up there in the upper right, fuel, food, and ammo. So I'm going to target that as my goal to get there. The site isn't secure. We're going to head over there and see what happens.
Awesome. And we are going to be taking your questions. We might even maybe take some suggestions on where you'd like us to go, what you'd like us to do. So join us in chat, whether you're on, recommend watching on IGN.com, right on the homepage there. But obviously you're watching from somewhere, but we're on IGN, Mixer, Twitch, and YouTube, wherever you want to be, but just participate in the chat. I'll be keeping an eye on that here on this laptop in front of me while Richard does the heavy lifting on the gameplay side. And of course, we've got the boss man himself here too. Jeff Strain can answer lots of questions as well. So you went to fast search that to save some time, but there was a zombie already here, even though you made noise.
I'm not really paying much attention to what's going on. Like, this is what I got grief for in the earlier streams. They're like, "Why isn't he using stealth? He's not being careful at all." No, I'm playing fast and loose right now.
It's pretty clear when you look at the game, especially if you've looked at State of Decay 1 recently, that not only are we running, of course, on a new generation of console here, but you've got a new engine under the hood, Unreal 4, replacing the CryEngine-based tech you ran in the first game. So What is Unreal allowed you guys to do, either from a development perspective and or the actual final product on the screen?
I think, really, there's kind of two components. Everybody looks at Unreal, and it's well known for high-quality rendering and ability to create beautiful environments and, subtle lighting and shadowing, and all those things are great. I mean, obviously, there's a very noticeable and prominent visual upgrade to the game. But as developers, the things that really matter to us are the tools that come with the engine. And so, in particular, the ability to rapidly prototype. Unreal has systems that are called Blueprint, where non-programmers can go in and start hooking up systems and creating some logic in a very visual fashion that allows us to rapidly prototype new systems and new features, and then iterate on those before we have to bake it down into higher performance code that will actually ship. And that's something, especially for a heavily systems-dependent game, systems-driven game like State of Decay 2, that's crucial in all directions, because the experience that we're trying to convey doesn't really come out at all unless all of those systems are working properly together.
Yeah, I guess
one of those systems isn't really tuned up right.
Breaks the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly. And so being able to kind of rapidly prototype and build as we go is very helpful.
Now, Richard, we're seeing a couple new things right off the bat here. You were just driving through fences.
Right.
Those will no longer be an unnecessary obstacle.
Yeah, State of Decay fans, I did that just so that they would be like, wait a minute!
We would have been flipping the car over the top of it.
Yeah. And if folks noticed while you were driving that van, you have to fuel cars now.
Yeah, that's right. So I usually, when I leave the base, like to make sure that I have at least one fuel can sitting in the back of the car so that I can refuel in situations where we run out. This car's got about half a tank left, but it'll go pretty quick as we end up searching around the map. But yeah, you were talking about the Blood Plague zombies, I think, as well. I parked this base right across the street from a plague heart.
Oh yeah, so that red mist in the air. It's like their bat signal, I guess, huh? The Blood Plague Heart bat signal.
So yeah, you can definitely see them in the map or see them in the world from a distance as you're approaching them from that column of sort of red mist and the birds that are swirling up above it. And then as you get closer, you can start to see like some of the effects creeping around in here.
Okay. Plague Heart.
Music's getting a little haunting as well.
Music gets a little creepy, and then we've got this stuff going around in here.
Okay.
You can see how toxic it gets inside.
So the Plague Heart, we saw this, by the way, we are obviously playing a single-player game right now, but of course, big new features, 4-player co-op. We have the first ever, four-player co-op video. It's on IGN. Find that on IGN or our YouTube page to see that it's about 25 minutes of 4-player co-op gameplay with me, with Brandon Tyrell, with you, and then one of the other members
Travis
of
McClain.
Travis from the Undead Labs team as well, where we go hunting plague hearts and really explain what they are. But the plague hearts are a new feature in State of Decay 2.
That's right, and they're a big part of kind of how you, when you get into the game, how you progress through your community story and how you would. Oh goodness, I'm getting myself in a big old mess, aren't I?
Richard, no!
I know. This is what happens when you just kind of play willy-nilly.
Hey, your stamina's gone.
Yeah, I have no stamina right now. I'm going to jump out the window here.
Oops. Okay. This is one of the things I love about State of Decay.
Yeah,
when we first started playing, it almost seemed like he was just invincible, just
right.
Through it, right? But as your stamina depletes, as your character starts getting tired, you're kind of lulled into this false sense of competence, right?
Got any items?
And then before
I got
you
a
know
car
it,
right here that I'm going to try to get into.
You don't have any throwables. You don't have any Molotov cocktails.
Like I said, I didn't do any prep. I just kind of was like, oh, there's a plague heart right across the street. Wasn't my smartest move.
Now, just to be clear, he has to. He's going to have to get those guys off because eventually they'll rip off the doors and pull them out.
Oh, wait. I believe in you, Richard.
Instead, I'm going to high center my vehicle on this rock. You got to be careful when you're trying to deal with the zombies.
He also, you're very close to blood plague poisoning as well.
Yeah.
That meter above the mini map on the
He
lower
just
left
pulled
side.
off the door over there.
get out.
So,
get out through the car.
Quick question. So, quick question from Mixer chat while we sort this out. From the JDog 1997, as we see already the afternoon starting to wear on here weather-wise. The JDog 1997 on Mixer.com/IGN asking, will the weather change throughout the game, such as thunderstorms, winds, etc.?
So there is no rain, so not weather like seasons type of weather. Definitely the sky is dynamic, cloudy conditions, misty conditions. The wind will vary, but not like snowfall or things like that.
But day-night, on the other hand, we're going to see, I think, nighttime at some point later on during this hour.
Yeah.
And that's its own special thing that we'll talk about when we get there. So you've made it back to the base in one piece.
In one piece, barely.
Yeah.
I should actually go get some, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab some items to help me out with this, and I'm going to get some folks to come along with me and help out. So, let's see what I got. Probably just going to
we've got Brandon Tyrell, who I mentioned earlier. He and I visited you at Undead Labs for our IGN first month of coverage that we're winding down with this week. Brandon's in the IGN.com stream chat, so he's able to answer some questions as well. So I encourage you to watch on IGN.com. So if I can't get to your question, because chat tends to move pretty quickly, Brandon's in there, and he's seen the game and can help out as well.
And one thing we should clarify as he's going through the supply locker, it's pretty well stocked.
Yeah. Yes.
Right? This is, as we said, kind of mid to mid-late game. We've got a well-established community here. This represents a lot of time in kind of building out infrastructure. When you first start playing the game, it's going to be a little bit more of a hardscrabble existence, right? Your kind of immediate need to secure, your food supply, your shelter, all the basics that you need to survive in the kind of first goal.
So what I did, one, I burned the explosive that I was going to use to try to take this thing out by accidentally hitting the wrong button. But then I threw those fireworks over there to try to pull anybody that was inside outside so that I could deal with this.
Makes sense.
Yeah, without too many distractions until it starts to get angry again.
Nailed it. So if there had been any other plague zombies in here, they'd have been killed.
They would have died, yeah.
Right away.
Yeah. We haven't gotten into what the connection is between those things, but there's definitely a connection that exists between the plague hearts and the plague zombies.
And you just picked up a blood plague sample that you can, if you collect enough, you can use to make that cure to get rid of that meter over there.
Right, that's right. And so one of the things that I need to do, like we were talking about earlier at the base, is that the game is, there are a lot of different dimensions to it. I was just out there dealing with a lot of activity and a lot of combat, but one of the things that I need to do is make sure that I have a facility that I can use to deal with medical issues like this. And right now I have this built in. I just need to repair the facility and get it functional, and that's going to take a little bit of time. So get that started.
We did note you kind of hovered on the morale boost you get from having the toilet.
Yeah,
it's good.
Always important equipment.
You take it for granted in this world, but if the zombies wiped everything out, it would definitely be a morale booster to have a functioning toilet.
And I can also assign somebody to clean the latrines, and that also boosts morale a little bit for a certain amount of time, which is great.
Fortunately, we don't force you as a player to actually have to go through that.
Get in there and clean
model
things
it. Yeah, the accuracy of the simulation goes only up to a point.
Right. We've also, Richard, you and I can't remember if it was you and I or you and Brendan. We've got a deep dive video on the upgrade system that's on IGN. If you want to check out more of that, we'll be poking in and out of the menus, of course, as we go here. But we do want to make sure we're doing plenty of cool gameplay stuff as well.
I was thinking I'd actually switch characters. We have. We did a character deep dive as well. So we talked about a lot of the details that you can get, the different character traits and how they're affected, how their skills are affected. And that's where we get into some of the RPG systems that you talked about earlier. Mm-hmm. Every survivor kind of has their own strengths and weaknesses and can be upgraded in different ways. This character is kind of kitted out and ready to be upgraded on a lot of her different skills. I can choose, between backpacking and marathon, and these specializations will then make that character even better at particular aspects to do with the various survival situations that you'll find yourself in out in the world. It's a tough choice between some of them because backpacking is going to make her really good at carrying a lot of stuff, doing good runs. Marathon's going to give her a better ability to run through the world. Running away from stuff is usually pretty handy. I'm going to take.
We already saw right in the beginning how you ran out of stamina and were nearly killed very quickly.
And again, like each of the different skills has 4 different specializations, and you can get up to 4 options on an individual survivor depending on their traits. You'll have at least 2 per skill.
Nice.
That's somewhat determined by their traits, somewhat determined by composition of the character. But again, it's a tough choice to make. Am I going to be resourceful and focus on further increasing carrying capacity and stamina, or am I going to go with the stealth bonuses and have a stealthier character? Endurance or striking. So I'm just gonna kind of kit her out to be really.
You're making a ninja right now. Is what you're doing.
Yeah, she'll be pretty rad with just about everything. But she also has a blank 5th skill slot there, which if we're running around the world and we happen to locate a skill book, I can then even round her out even further with a skill that my community might need for base building.
Awesome. Now we've got some people in chat saying,
She's
send up a flare, send up a flare. Well, we're not hooked up for multiplayer for this.
Right.
There's nobody else. The game's not out. There's nobody to jump in and play multiplayer with us. So, again, you can see multiplayer in the IGN video that's on our IGN.com or YouTube. By the way, you guys are going to be, for folks watching this that are, and everybody's super interested in the game, you guys are going to be at PAX East. The game will be playable on the PAX East floor.
The first time that actual, State of Decay fans and people who've never had an opportunity to see it before are going to be able to get their own hands
People
on
said
it.
roaches would
Awesome.
And that's going to be an exciting moment for us. We've been working on this for quite a while, and to actually finally put it in people's hands and let them play it, watch how they engage with it is going to be super exciting for us.
Yeah, and so you get if you're going to PAX East, you get a chance to play it 6 weeks early. The game is out May 22nd on Xbox One and PC for $30. That was another big thing that was part of our coverage when we kicked things off. Is that I want to talk to you, Jeff, about the price point thing for a second, just because I think it did take a lot of people by surprise. It actually, I have to say, I've been covering the games industry for a long time now. I was surprised by the price point because when State of Decay 2 was first announced in a pre-rendered video at E3 2016, like, great, yes, State of Decay 2, bigger, better, more, hinting at some multiplayer here with the flare thing that was in that video. I assumed it would be, as a bigger budget, bigger deal sequel, that it would be a $60 game. But here we are, your $30 game, or $50 for the Ultimate Edition, which includes the 2 DLC packs as well as early access. And there's even a code in there for State of Decay 1, the Year 1 Survival Edition for Xbox One. So is that a Microsoft decision, or do you guys, how did that process go of arriving at a very pleasantly surprising price point like this?
Well, I think it's the result of, we've been talking about where we're going to position this and kind of what we're trying to achieve with it for over a year, as far as when the game started coming together and we actually started finding what the release looked like.
Oh, Richard, dude.
And I think the message we're trying to send here, because obviously from a production value standpoint, we're very proud of this, right?
Sure.
But the message we're trying to send here is that this is a game that we want to support for a long time, right? I think that there's this kind of shift going on in the industry right now where it's not so much about whether you want to spend your money on something, it's whether you want to spend your time on something, right? There's a lot of really high quality games out there.
It's true.
We're competing not just with zombie games or survival games. We're competing with Breath of the Wild, and every game that people want to play and put their time into. And so
I got to pause you for a second because we've got to explain, Richard, what the hell did you just do?
That was awesome.
So what happened is I wasn't paying attention. I thought I was being a hotshot and I was going to run over a bunch of zombies. And in the midst of that group of zombies was a zombie freak that we call a bloater. And when you hit a bloater with your car, you can see the cloud still kind of hanging out there.
It's a big, literal bloated zombie filled with noxious gas.
Number one reason why we get a nudity rating as part of our M-rated game.
People are very disappointed when they find out why we got our nudity rating. Yeah.
It's that beautiful bloater.
So you had to bail out of that car.
I had to bail out of the car because when you hit a bloater with a car, the cloud attaches to the vehicle for a little bit of time, and you have to kind of wait it out. And if you sit in the car, my health got damaged pretty quickly. And then if we go in and we look at how Lemmy is doing, we can probably see, she's got
gas inhalation damage
from her stamina, and then also on her health front. So these are injuries that, again, that facility that we're working on back at the base, I need that facility in order to recover from these injuries that she sustained.
It's like the post-zombie apocalypse version of running over a skunk in the road. Like
it lingers.
Exactly.
So Jeff, back to what we were talking about with the price, because I think this is an important discussion. You're talking about having to compete for people's time.
Yeah, it's increasingly about competing for time, and so, the kinds of games that we like to make and that we're proud of are games that people want to play for a long time, that have this kind of emergent story, right? We want to put tools in the hands of the players and let them tell their own story. That's what really gets us going, right? And so that's not a burn a bunch of bits on a plastic disc and throw it over the wall and move on to the next thing kind of endeavor, right? Like this is, look, the name of our company is Undead Labs. This is what we do, right? This is State of Decay is in our blood. And so really what it comes down to is, we're trying to optimize for having a very large player community that we can engage with and build a franchise with over time, rather than something that is on the shelf. We take your $60, it's on the shelf for 6 weeks, and then you're moving on to the next thing. Right? It's a little bit of a bet. Right? It's a calculated risk that we're taking, but we think that, especially for those players who love the original State of Decay,
you can see all the zombies coming in.
The value that you're going to get here, right? The presentation, the quality of the game, the depth of play, the length of play, the amount of support that people are going to expect over time, right? We just think that this is more kind of putting forward the foot we want to put forward.
I mean, I feel like the first game, State of Decay, if you gunned it through that, you're looking at 12 plus hours. So and this is a bigger version, and it's obviously highly replayable, and you probably don't want to just rush through it anyway. Well, so it's really impressive value on your guys' part, and gamers certainly appreciate you placing that bet. And I mean, the final game's not out. I'm very optimistic about what I've seen, and if the final game is as good as everything I've seen has suggested, I really hope that bet pays off for you guys.
We do too. We do too. We pour our heart and souls into these things, right? And anytime we try to kind of go out there and do something a little bit different, it's a little bit scary.
Speaking of scary, you are screwed right now.
Yeah, again,
Richard.
I keep getting
no stamina.
really cocky when I go after these plague hearts.
So let's put a bow on that conversation here, Jeff.
Yeah.
The $50 for the Ultimate Edition, I just glazed over what's in there. Can you tell us at all anything yet about those 2 expansion packs that they're coming, or are we going to hear about that later?
I can, and this won't be a whole lot more information that's on the box, right, or on the disc package. But one of them we call the Independence Pack, and it is it's a bunch of toys to play with for Independence Day, wherever you are. Right? And so you can expect that there's going to be special weapons, and, special vehicle skins, explosives, and all kinds of toys to play with in the world that kind of shoot stuff up in a fun way, right? Probably, definitely some other surprises in there too. But that is a kind of just fun, smaller kind of content pack that we're releasing. Later in the summer, there'll be a bigger release that we're calling the Daybreak Pack, which is more of a full-on new game.
Nice.
And is actually, to be honest, a style of play that takes some of the fundamentals of State of Decay, puts it in more of a kind of a scenario-based structure that is, highly replayable, and it's something we've been talking about literally for years.
Cool.
Having the opportunity to do. So it's something that as a development team we're incredibly excited about.
All right, let's see what else is going on in chat while Richard regroups here.
Did you survive all that?
I did okay.
All right, good.
I took the questionable strategy of just going straight after the Plague Heart to see if I can make it. I mentioned earlier the ability to learn skills, and that Lemmy here had an available spot, available slot to be able to do that. And so I'm going to go ahead and use this skill book.
The inventory system, by the way, totally.
Just learned something.
Yeah,
totally
totally.
new. This
I
looks
mean,
great.
pretty much the entirety of the UX has been revamped. We had some really cool stuff in the previous game, but a lot of people had trouble kind of navigating it and intuiting different aspects of it. And for instance, we had a very similar skill progression system in the first game that a lot of people just never figured out was there. They'd max out their stars, they were able to customize their characters, their survivors, but they had no idea how to do it because it was a little bit obtuse. And so we wanted to make sure that all of these cool things that we have in the game are actually exposed to people this time around.
That's one of the primary goals from the very beginning was people could perceive that there was a sophisticated simulation running under the hood. But the inputs and outputs and how your actions directly fed into that and the results from that weren't very visible.
And is that one of those things, Jeff, would you say that is, now you're a group of veteran developers, but State of Decay 1 was not only obviously the first game in what is now a series, but it was your first game together as Undead Labs. Is that a thing that you kind of learn? Is that one of those lessons you learn when you're making a game for the first time together of like, oh, okay, well, in hindsight, we made all this cool stuff, but we didn't necessarily show it.
Partially, but it's also the result of, when we talk about
Nice.
AAA versus, single A, right? Like it often comes down to a question of resources. I mean, one of the reasons that the UX and UI in this game is so good, and in my opinion, it is very good, at least in terms of its usability and its accessibility and our ability to kind of expose what's going on in the simulation, is because, we were able to go hire some really good people to do this. And shout out to Susan, Krista, and Alan. But they did a fantastic job of marshaling a very complicated, the simulation engine behind this game is huge and can be very complicated, and marshaling that and presenting it in a way that was understandable was a huge task.
Question on twitch.tv/IGN from SimNation TV. I don't know if this build is set up for this. Can we see weapon and vehicle customization, please? Is that something we can do at some point during this hour?
I might be able to manage. I might be able to manage some the mod systems that we have for our ranged weapons. The way that customization works we don't have customization for vehicles. We basically have an upgrade that you can apply to the existing vehicles, and I don't know if I'm going to have the facilities or the time required to get the hooks that we have to upgrade the vehicles into the Apocalypse versions.
Yeah.
You can see I got a lot of stuff going on in the area around me as we've been playing. This list of goals has been populated both by ambient survivor activity and enclaves that I am aware of that I may have had interactions with in the past or that are revealing themselves to me. So we can kind of figure out what's going on. I have goals specific to my community. Paul is looking for his stepbrother, and Timothy wants to kind of go after the Plague Hearts. If I switch to him now, he's gonna say, I want to go take out a Plague Heart. I know where one is. Let's go deal with this. This is an issue we want to take care of. Whereas these guys, I don't know what they want. All I know is that they're former medical professionals, which could be really valuable. Interacting with this enclave and going through the various missions that they might give me probably ends up with some sort of a boon for my community that is an ongoing thing once the relationship gets to a certain point. But it's a question. I have no idea what that interaction is going to be like until I go over and engage it.
Well, gosh, we're already halfway through. I might have to keep you guys here for another hour.
Ryan, one thing I just wanted to follow up on really quickly. You were talking earlier about the replayability or the depth of play of the first game and where we were with the second game. One of the things that's one of our goals for State of Decay 2 was to more fully integrate the story that is told with the simulation engine. In other words, let the world and your choices as a player and the things that are going on in the world have a more direct impact on the story that actually unfolds.
Yes.
So rather than it being kind of a pre-canned narrative, we divide the game into acts. There's a beginning act, a middle act, and an end act. And there are things that could happen, scenarios that could play out, events that could happen to people that are within each of those. But But the way it all unfolds and the story that you actually experience is to a very large degree driven by the decisions you make, not only in the field in terms of what you shoot and what resources you gather and how you build your base, but also the kind of ethical and moral quandaries that you face and the decisions you make around all those, and the way that the other members of your community react to your decisions, right? Some people will think you made a good decision. Some people will think you made a terrible decision. And over time, that has an impact on the way your community works and the type of people that you have there.
Huh.
And so it's, that is one of the kind of big stretches that we've done in State of Decay 2, is to really explore something new there with dynamic narrative. But I think that it does, just further increase that replayability and kind of the amount of time that you can get a rewarding experience out of the game.
That's interesting. You talked about 3 acts. There are also, much ado has been made that there are 3 maps. The game world is much bigger.
Switch?
Did those? Yeah. Should we A, see another one, and B, do those acts tie to those maps?
No, the acts don't tie to the maps. Which map you're in, the acts will unfold in any map that you're in.
Okay.
So we don't constrain the story to a specific place.
Real quick, I wanted to follow up on the weapon modification
Yes.
stuff. So the weapons, some of them can accept different kinds of attachments. You can see the empty puzzle piece there. This accepts a muzzle attachment. And I didn't have any muzzle attachments handy, but I did have a weapon that has one equipped already.
Yep,
And you
handmade
can see
suppressor
that
there.
It's got that suppressor, and I can detach that mod.
Oh, cool.
But my backpack is full, so if I were to
I've ever actually done that.
Let's just do this real quick. You can see I can detach that mod. The mod has now come off of that, and I would be able to come onto this one, and I believe I have to equip it first, and then, since I have it equipped, it doesn't take that long. This one should. I can then equip that mod to this gun. Now this gun will have that homemade suppressor on it. So that's kind of that system before I jump out and
Very cool.
switch into another community in a different map real quick.
Excellent.
So one of the things you saw there was just, if you want to drill into the micro details of base management and facility modification and weapons modification, you could go down the rabbit hole and be lost for days. We try to structure it so that you don't have to do that to enjoy the game. For those people who really like to have fine-grained control over every aspect of the experience, they're going to be very, very happy with this.
Yeah, I mean, we're already 32 minutes into the stream, and I'm like, oh man, this has flown by. There's just so much to dig into and get to in this.
Completely different community. Again, have some folks here who are ready to be specialized. We talked about this in one of our videos. I think the
leader system.
The leader system. So I've got some folks here ready to be made leader in this community. But I think I'm just gonna run around with a different group of people for a little bit. You can see that their needs are a little bit different. Everybody needs food, but their materials are doing fine. More that I'm low on ammo and low on meds and fuel. So I'm gonna again jump over.
And their morale is quite low.
Was it?
Yep.
Oh yeah, look at that.
Everybody's miserable, and here's why.
They're pretty
So
unhappy.
this is a perfect example of what I was talking about earlier about how we do a much better job of exposing how the simulation works.
So
Yeah, you've got the reasons for.
Yes, you've got the reasons for it.
They have this base that's in an sort of an abandoned police station. And you can see one of the negatives for their morale there is doorless cells, literal jail cells. Everybody's about the fact that they now have to sleep in bed in jail cells, and there aren't enough beds even when you include those.
Yeah. Also, Carl tells bad jokes, and that kills everybody's morale.
Damn it, Carl.
Damn it, Coral.
Wait, is his name
Damn
Lewis?
it, Carl.
Lewis or Carl? Yeah, sorry. Hi, Lewis. We love you.
And then you can see there's a conflict instigator. Joseph has started something, and there's probably another person who's upset about what he's done. But again, facilities in the base that people like, a couple of folks like the Watchtower that's going to bring morale up. We've got a survivor that has the voice of reason, and she's able to kind of calm things down a little bit. But I'm going to, the conflict victim, Lauren. So Lauren and Joseph, or Lauren and Carl, probably got into it a little bit, and now they're getting to the point. Carl's frustrated, and that can actually build up to the point where Carl will leave the community.
Now, how do you address that?
So
Carrie, I think that
is it Carrie? You know what? My eyes are just garbage.
You've been developing a video game for years here.
Staring at
Eyes are shot.
too close. My eyes are completely shot. Sure enough, there's Carrie. Sorry, Carl. But yeah, if digging in here, you can see that she's been a conflict victim recently, and since Joseph was an instigator, she's likely had some issues with Joseph. The main way you deal with those is at some point a goal is gonna pop up here that lets you know, like, hey, here's a thing that you can do to interact with Carrie, or I think Lauren was the other survivor that was upset, and this is what you can do to kind of help them feel better about continuing to be a part of this community. And if you don't, you have plenty of time. It's not like this thing that happens very quickly, but if you don't deal with it, eventually they're gonna be like, you know what, this place doesn't care about me. Right. I've been frustrated for a really long time, and I'm going to go.
So I'm actually seeing a number of questions. A lot of people want to see you go to a gas station.
A gas station?
Yeah, and fuel up.
Sure. Well, I can fuel up anywhere there's a gas can, but I'll look into this fueling station.
All right, let's do it. And then
a sweet car.
Yeah, it's a nice ride there.
It's going to burn through gas really quick, but it'll go.
On Twitch, on IGN's Twitch channel, we've got a user asking, any kind of modding support planned for the game, either from day one or later. Oh, Ramp!
Oh, Richard! You know what? Bad eyes. I'm going to play my vision again. I'll go back and get that in a minute.
So, obviously, we are playing on PC now. Yeah, any chance we'll be able to do some mods for this? Is that in the roadmap at all?
So, we do not. So, I'll tell you our answer to this question for State of Decay. This is, this is going to be one of those kind of hand-wavy kinds of answers, but it's accurate, right? We do not provide out of the box any tools for mods. We did not take a dim view of people modding it themselves. It is a UE4 game. People understand what the file formats are, and we want to have fun with it, but
not bad at all.
As far as like official support, that's not it right now.
Okay. Good to get the question answered.
Hello.
By the way, folks, if you're curious about the Xbox One X enhancements, we've got an article about that on IGN. Jeff, you'd kindly help settle that debate for us.
So that's me gassing up the vehicle. You can see there's a certain amount of time.
Fill it up.
And now the gas tank is full. Every vehicle has a different capacity for fuel, and the gas tanks the gas cans that you will find in the world have a specific amount of gas that they will fill up. Mm-hmm. So some of the vehicles, like big SUVs and stuff like that, will have tanks that are so big that a single gas can isn't going to even fill them up. Smaller cars like this, and there's even smaller ones, you'll get them most of the way full. Where's that ramp? Oh, it was back this way. All right, I'm going to go back that way. For ramp goodness, it's going to destroy this awesome car.
Got to do it. A few more Zeds have to die along the way, so be it.
So be it.
So I would like to, at some point, go back to base and kind of look through some of the facilities that we've got, see how the other members of our community are interacting with those facilities, and how we queue up work modifications. We went through that to a little bit of a...
Doesn't look like much of a ramp, man. This is going to be bad news.
It's going to be good. What are you talking about? It's going to be awesome.
Survival sandbox.
All right, see if you can survive this.
This just seems like a really, really bad idea.
It was so tempting.
That was so anticlimactic.
It's like you got trolled by your own game there.
It's rampish, but those girders are not. That's not a smooth takeoff point.
That was just such a fizzle, man.
I might end up back at my base a little quicker than I expected.
You are virtually dead.
Yeah, that would be a very, very bad time to have to get through all of this. And if something big shows up in the interim, that's going to be a problem too.
I do hope, gosh, I can't believe we're 40 minutes into this already. I wish I had you guys for 2 hours.
I wish I could hang out with you longer too, Ryan.
Can we get a juggernaut at some point in the next 20 minutes?
I will try. I'll do my best.
We really haven't even seen almost none of the special zombies. You ran over that floater.
Yeah, and there was a screamer, but very briefly. And it's just one of those things like, similar to when we were recording for the multiplayer stuff. We're like,
systems-based game, right?
Can we get this to happen? I was like, well, no. The game is a simulation. If it happens, it happens, and if it doesn't,
there's actually history about that with State of Decay 2 and State of Decay 1 with Microsoft. You know, this was a different kind of game for them, and it, as we knew, you know, it breaks a lot of rules and defies a lot of traditions, and one of the things that was always challenging for us, especially with the first game, was incredibly hard to demo. Right?
Yeah.
Because people, you know, you're going to get in front of somebody like Phil Spencer, and he's like, "Oh, what's this game all about?" Right?
That's what Phil sounds like.
Yeah, that's what Phil sounds like. Yeah, Phil doesn't sound like that. Phil's a very, very articulate and thoughtful dude, so he does not sound like that. But he still would come into the room and want to see what this game was all about, and we felt like this enormous pressure to like, okay, we want to have a feral, and we want to have, you know, a juggernaut attack, and we want, like, you know, all these things, but, you know, unless we went in and kind of broke the fundamental nature of the game, and forced it to be a scripted experience, it was just devilishly hard to ever guarantee anybody what was actually going to...
Feels like, what am I paying for here? What am I funding?
Right, exactly.
And then to him I would say, look at this awesome setup that we have for all of these interactions on the base.
Exactly.
A question from IGN.com's Brandon Tyrell in chat.
Oh, interesting.
I'm curious if the developers base these regions off anywhere in particular. This is the first I've seen this new region, and it's looking good.
Yeah. So, you know, we're kind of proponents of the go with what you know mentality. A lot of this is based on areas in Eastern Washington or Western Washington, but sort of templatized a little bit to try to look like a lot of the small town areas where a lot of us grew up. Right?
Yeah.
Like, not everybody's from a big fancy city, and we wanted to really portray this kind of idea of real people living in America. Right? These are not superheroes from, you know, fancy cities. These are just folks who were, you know, living in small towns and doing their thing before the apocalypse hit. And so the setting is intentionally supposed to evoke that kind of semi-rural, small town feel. But yeah, a lot of the flora and fauna is definitely templated after, you know, Western Washington and Eastern Washington.
All right.
That
so, on my wish list for the next 17 minutes
is
here, Richard, Juggernaut, and I don't know if we can load up if you've got a nighttime save, because the nighttime in this is it's special. It's special in this game.
Now, if we could combine both of those two things,
that you could.
Super money.
Two birds, one stone. I'm up for that.
Is one of our saves at night?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
we had such a long, 20-minute single-player demo and a good chunk of our multiplayer demo at nighttime that I didn't even think about. Oh, but look, your other.
There he is.
Oh, look at that!
Right,
hit him with the car.
Oh, right. Okay.
Oh.
Let's wreck another car.
Yeah. Let's see what happens. Well, he's just chilling out. He doesn't seem to have taken notice of you.
Uh-oh.
As
some bugs.
We bug out a little bit here. There we go. We're all better. Now he's noticed. Oh! And there go the doors.
He blew the doors off this thing.
Can he flip this car?
You can see the kind of impact he has on vehicles. Vehicles are not a great anti-juggernaut technique. He doesn't care. You can see him. He's like, oh, you're going to charge me? Uh-huh. I can get him enough.
Get that side view again. That was awesome.
But the zombie pulled me out because I don't have any.
Wait, if the car blows up when he's standing next to it, that could be good.
That would be great. It might get him low enough. Hold on, let's see if I can get him close without getting myself blown up.
Oh, no!
Oh, great. That was good times. Oh, but he's down. If I get over there.
Get him. Oh, you missed it. You missed it.
He just got his belly.
He's up.
Oh, no!
Oh, you're down.
Are you happy now, Ryan?
Yes, I am, in fact, because this isn't my save game.
Oh, man. Pro tips, Juggernaut versus car, not great situation. You can see he doesn't care. He will mow down vehicles. And, sorry, I got to fix somebody else. I'm emotional right now. I'm gonna switch to Joseph.
I mean, so there are the feral, there are
He
the
hasn't
screamers,
heard yet what happened.
there are the bloaters, the juggernauts. I mean, is it safe to say are the juggernauts sort of the mini bosses of the State of Decay 2 world?
Hey, you know, it really depends on context. He's still there. I gotta hold on. I don't want to lose Joseph too right out of the gate. Hold on, let me see if I can grab something to deal with this
Thankfully,
guy.
you have a pretty stocked arsenal.
I
here.
do. I'm gonna take some grenades and at least.
How about when I got to play up at Undead Labs with you guys, I really liked the C4.
You like
just
the
throw
C4?
it down, run away, and then just boom.
Let me see if I don't know.
Is there
if
any
I
in here?
have any C4 circuitry. Hold on.
Meanwhile, the rest of your community is getting mowed down out there.
They're professionals. They're handling it. I have box mines. I don't think I have any C4 on this. I do have one on one of the other ones, but I got to get out there before my entire community gets chewed up by this guy.
Thankfully, you've got a pretty
Here
heavy.
we
You
go.
got him, you got him, you got him, you got him. Can you do it? Oh, yeah.
He was
Oh,
mostly
yeah.
down from
Revenge.
if you're willing to sacrifice an entire vehicle and most of a character, you can get and all of a character. Rest in peace. Here's Trish.
Oh, the gravestone.
Poor Trish. You too can kill a single juggernaut, and sometimes they come in pairs.
Oh, great.
What I'm going to do real quick, since I have the opportunity,
Yes.
I'm going to take this toolkit, and I'm going to go into this tiny little room for no reason, and I'm going to run outside and I'm going to fix up this SUV.
Oh, excellent. Yeah.
Ryan, so juggernauts are definitely tough. My favorite of the freaks is the feral.
Yeah.
Because they just come out of nowhere, knock you down.
They're hard to hit.
They are hard to hit, and they're just like rabid dogs, right? You just feel like you can't shake them. But what I love about them, especially if you're playing at night, it's already, we really clamp down on your visibility and spatial awareness at night, very intentionally. Night is very, very threatening.
Yeah, you
very
can see,
creepy.
I guess we're not going to get to see it here, you can see videos of nighttime in State of Decay 2 on IGN.
But when you're, if you have to go out on a scavenging run or something, it's dark, it's very quiet, because the game is usually quiet. Right?
Yeah.
We call it punctuated stillness, where everything goes from creepy and quiet to just like explosions, just instantly like that. But it'll be dark, it'll be quiet, and then you'll just hear it sounds like dog toenails on a wood floor. Right, and you know that one of them's stalking you, and they do that. They stalk you, and it's just creepy.
It is super creepy.
Yeah.
It's contextual, which is worse, the juggernauts or the feral. I mean, the bloater can be the worst of the bunch, and when you encounter one when you're scavenging a house and you're in a small room and it blocks the exits with a big cloud of destruction. But typically, I'm the most afraid of the juggernauts.
So what are you trying to do here?
Kill this clown.
Oh. Why is there a clown out here? So close to the
He's
road.
probably at a kid's birthday party at this house.
Yep, that's probably right.
See, that's the scaffolding, right? You make your own stories in State of Decay 2.
Oh, there. Oh,
Nice.
Little action moment for you. I know,
Yeah.
like you said, it's not necessarily a game that's all about action. You do want these moments where I'm being careful and considerate, and I'm approaching this house, and I'm not trying to engage zombies, because honestly, it's mostly downside to get into fights.
Yeah, you're not out here farming XP.
do you
Uh-oh,
think?
there's a screamer.
Oh, I heard it. Yeah.
And he's going to make this a little tricky.
Yeah,
so
he's
got
gonna make this very
guy in
tricky.
Armor. So, like, the armor guy,
He's in. Yeah.
There he
There he
is.
is.
All right.
but you can see, like,
Damage done.
the right situation, that armor guy's a huge pain in the butt, because I've got a bunch of other zombies here because of all the noise I've been making, and he ends up tanking a lot of damage unless I can get him down. It was a big kids' party.
Introduce a little anarchy. Do we have time to maybe just run a mission? People always like to see, we've been wandering in the sandbox here. Maybe we get out and choose a mission.
Yeah, I can see what's going on here. There's this is another survivor that was out. Somebody was attacking me. No, I'm okay. Remember earlier I was talking about the the frustrations. Speak to Carrie about her frustrations. So this is me. I'd have to head back to the base real quick and see what's going on there.
Okay.
This is an enclave. It's pretty far away, but I could go see what they're wanting. I could figure out what's going on with the survivor that's over near the base. Why don't I head back towards the base, see if we can figure out what's going on with Carrie.
Sounds good.
And if we get through that pretty quickly, I can see if this survivor is still hanging around.
I would be remiss, Jeff, if I didn't ask you, the way the first game ended, does the story of State of Decay 2 tie into the story of the first game, or how? I know we're in a different place, obviously, but how tight or loose is the connection narratively between the two games?
So the events of the first game are historical events to this game.
Okay.
And without going into any detail, players of the original game will find plenty of callbacks and Easter eggs.
Nice.
To give them that nostalgia kick. There's definitely connective tissue between the two.
Excellent. Looking forward to that.
Maybe even some cameos.
And of course, in addition to the game being $30 for the standard version, $50 for the ultimate.
So I just ran out of gas. Sorry.
That was it. You guys are going to be on Xbox Game Pass right on May 22nd, yes?
That's right.
So if subscribers to Game Pass can just download and play the game.
That's exactly right.
That's good for you guys, right? When does the Xbox overlords come down and say, "Hey, we're putting all the first-party games into this subscription service."
What's good for us
more
is,
players for you,
yeah,
right?
Exactly. What's good for us is the largest number, the biggest community, right? That's what we're going for here. Is we just want, like the first game, I think somewhere around 5 million, people played that game. That's a great sized community, and the going into Game Pass and the very customer-friendly price point that we're going out at, we hope to have a similar level of success with this game, because we're much more set up this time around to extend it, grow it, and support it over time.
So I'm looking for Carrie. She's probably inside the base.
Sulking.
Sulking. Yeah, she's upset.
She's mad. She's salty.
She's in one of those cells.
Yeah. One of the cells with... yeah.
Folks do want to know
Yeah, there she is. She's sulking. Yeah.
On the four-player, on the cooperative side, is cross-play enabled? Can PC players play with Xbox players?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, okay.
Windows 10 and Xbox full cross-player compatibility.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So her main thing, right, is right now she's been bummed about a lot of different stuff, but she said that the thing that will make me feel better in the short term is if you go find some meds for the community. So again, similar to what I had done before, I'm going to jump into my map, see all the places that I've scouted. Again, pretty much everything's revealed on the map right now for me. When you're getting into this game for the first time, you've got a newly established community, you will see none of this information.
Yeah, you got to go up into the scouting locations and use your binoculars and scout everything.
Exactly. But I know a lot about what's going on around here, so I'm going to look around and see if we've got anything nearby. There's one. It's not far. I'm just going to pop out and see if I can get those meds.
And that'll make her feel better?
That'll make her feel better for now.
She'll feel like you're investing in the proper things.
That I care about.
That you
what
care
she
about
wants.
people. Yeah. Now, would you be able to switch and play as her directly right now?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So that's the thing, is that what's interesting is that, you don't have a singular character that you play through. It's not a traditional RPG in that sense. You are the community. And as characters take damage and need healing and need to rest, you'll be swapping through all your community members all the time.
Which the first game, you did have that as well.
Yeah. But what's interesting is because of the way the simulation more directly plugs into the characters and their needs and wants and desires and the story that unfolds, then it's not like you surrounded by a bunch of NPCs making demands. You're actually going to be playing some of these characters who have said what they want as well, and what you do when you're playing as them, whether you are fulfilling the wishes of that character or not, will impact the way that character feels.
Nope, that's not good.
Fast searching again, getting myself into trouble.
You had one job, Foge, one job.
I have one job, which is to die to the juggernaut as far as I know. Oh, there's a lot of them. Oh, there's a lot of them. Okay, here.
Fire in the hole!
Watch out. Oh.
Yeah, nicely done.
Quality, right?
A lot of people do also want to know about other humans in the game? Can you kill them? Can they? I mean, I've definitely, when I've played, seen them attack me.
Yeah, I very nearly did something really stupid earlier and just started threatening an enclave. But you guys were talking, and I was like, nobody's paying attention to me right now. But yeah, that is absolutely a thing that you can do. You can find an enclave who is potentially indifferent to you, and start shit with them. Sorry, I don't know if this is a PG-rated stream.
We've got the F word in the game. It's fine. Whatever. We're all adults here. At least I hope so. If you're not an adult,
please stop watching.
Please stop watching. This game's rated M.
Yeah.
Tell your parents to buy it, but not for you, for them to.
Did you? Sorry, I wasn't watching.
No, now I'm gonna do exactly what we're talking about. I'm gonna see if I can find another enclave nearby and see if I can mess with them.
Excellent. Yeah, we've got 5 minutes left, unless you guys want to stay for another hour, in which case I'm more than happy. But yeah, I know you've got to get on your way and finish the darn game.
That is the plan of the hour.
See if I can get there. It's pretty far away. Let me see.
You can go cross country.
Yeah, it's a bit of a haul, so I got to get all the way. We'll see down there. No GPS in the apocalypse. This little guy will go pretty good though, so I'm just gonna cruise on down.
Yeah, we should have enabled a cheat so we can flip it tonight.
Well, folks will have to go on IGN.
Yeah, like Foge said, there's plenty. You guys have plenty of night footage. Like the giant Tinker Toy wheel on the top of the car there.
Yeah, I was wondering, like, did this used to be a self-driving car with all the LiDAR stuff on top?
The implication is that this was a car that was being used by a big tech company for mapping.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The Google Maps thing.
Yeah.
Unaffiliated. Anyway, but that it is a very effective vehicle for increasing your scouting distance. While you're driving around in this car, the scouting distance that you get on your map is increased.
Nice.
So you can.
Oh yeah, survey car. I see the name of it over there.
Right. So in addition to jumping up onto cell phone towers and billboards and things like that and scouting an area around, when you get close to something on foot, you're gonna reveal that information about them as well. You just have to get a lot closer than you would if you're just walking around, or if you're using the scouting sites. So yeah, take a look here.
Opening the door at speed to take out a zombie it's literally always funny. It's never not good.
Well, what's fun is in multiplayer, you each have your own door.
Oh, we've got video of that too. That was, we were having just a door party.
But you know, there's a practical impact too, and that is that it avoids damage to your car. Right. You hit them straight on so many times, and you're going to beat up your car pretty badly.
You won't have enough when you come to get the juggernauts. I did that for you. I hope you know.
I appreciate it.
It was a sacrifice.
You did it for your own fans of the game, don't you know? But I'll take it.
You'll take it.
It's really it's
they're always very mad when I don't play well. Poor Trish, rest in peace. Okay, so we're getting close to these guys. I'm just over the river and through the woods now.
Yeah, why not?
Totally off road. Why not is a good question. This map is a little better for it. It's got some open fields and stuff that you can get through.
Except for the start of the river. Oh no! Oh wow!
It is fordable.
You forded it. I'm impressed.
But the others might not have quite as much. Okay, let's see. I might not be able to threaten these guys. I might have already started stuff with them and kind of gotten into their good graces. But let's find out. How well armed am I? Very well armed.
I see you got a grenade on you too. That's two of them actually.
Let's see how they feel. Let's see how we feel.
Well, you just drew a bunch of zombies into their base. So.
Well, you know. That's whatever. That just happens in the apocalypse. Okay, no, I can't, unfortunately. Earlier on when I had the other enclave,
he already did something nice.
An option to threaten them. Yeah, right now I can trade with them. I can learn about their survivors and see, like, hey, is there somebody in this community that I want to target for recruiting?
Yeah.
But I can't just, you can't just friendly fire shoot anybody. It's something that is very in the same way that we don't want you shooting your friends.
Right.
It's a very deliberate process for getting, if an enclave isn't already automatically kind of hostile towards you, it's a very deliberate process for making yourself hostile to an enclave. There are narrative reasons and things that can happen in your relationship with them, but it's extremely, extremely dangerous to just get into it with a human enclave.
So what's our third community? is it in a different place, a different
Yeah, we
different
can
base? Yeah.
jump over to that if you want.
All right, yeah, we've got, we can go about 5 or so more minutes just to check out one last thing here.
Right.
Fortunately, it's a smoking machine you got us on, so. I mean, you can see the load times on this are pretty.
We take good care of our guests.
That's nothing. Okay, let's see what else is going on here. Sorry, I have to kind of catch up with each of these communities as I'm.
Oh, this one's the same map as why it loaded so fast too.
No, is it?
Yeah. We sure we loaded in it?
Yeah, on with the.
This is not the same map that we were just in.
Okay.
It might have been the same map as the first community.
Yeah,
and you can see another thing that's noteworthy about this map is that I don't have as much
Not
information.
revealed. Yeah.
Yeah, so what I can see is where the points are in the map for me to go and reveal additional information. I have that much data, but I don't know anything else. So.
Well, I'd say go out with a bang. Go out somewhere, start making a bunch of noise, set up some fireworks, and see how.
That's
how
probably for the best.
See how bad it can get. Yeah,
Fine.
maybe ask somebody to come along with you and get
Sure.
a couple of your other survivors out there.
Oh, let's murder my entire save.
Yeah.
It's fine.
It's for the public good.
That's right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take a couple of these.
You want to sell copies of this game or not, Richard? Come on.
You're gonna have to put your personal save on the line here, my friend.
This is my personal save too. Very specifically loaded up with friends of mine that we did face scans for.
Yeah, one of the, I'll just touch on that real quick. One of the cool techniques we used building our character models is a technique called photogrammetry,
Down to help with something?
where you take, just with a high quality digital camera, we would take pictures of people's faces mapped around 12, maybe 12 different sample points.
Yeah.
And then we had software that would stitch it together, build a 3D model out of it. And so and we would still have to artify it, but it gave us a huge head start. And what it does is it makes the characters look very realistic and unique. They look like people, right? They don't look like video game models. But occasionally we'll be playing and we'll play some character and recognize oh, that's my sister, or that's her actor.
That's Matt's mom.
That's Matt's mom.
Literally, that's Matt's mom.
Yeah. Is that Matt's mom right
No,
there?
no.
Okay.
Like there is one that is Matt's mom, and when I can't not play. Like I have to keep her alive.
Yeah.
My mom's not in the game, fortunately. Otherwise, I don't know what I would do.
Roll a grenade down the hill.
What?
There's a head
There's a
roll.
head rolling down the hill.
Yeah. I was kind of more captivated by that. All right, let's see.
Or maybe do a little selective dismemberment. That's always fun. So each of the arms and the legs and the head are all independently targetable. So you can literally if you blow both their legs off, they'll start pulling themselves along the ground trying to get to you.
Another head rolling down the hill.
End over end, too.
Yeah, her ponytail's giving a little bit of bounce. I feel like I need to make more noise. I probably need to get further away from my base. What I really need to do. There's,
Yeah, you're sort of right on your safe zone
Right.
border
More
there.
You're able to
populated
kind
area,
of create.
maybe into a town center or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Down there will work.
With it, yeah, this, I love the look of this area. It's like this sort of rural, mountainy, hilly area. It's cool.
Let's see, she's missing a leg from earlier. Fortunately, I brought a badass with me.
Yeah, but see, you're already tired, and so when it starts getting heavy, you're gonna.
It's going to be gnarly,
Yeah.
It's because I'm running everywhere. You got to be careful with your stamina. All right, we'll get into some drama over here.
Have you guys announced PC specs yet?
I believe we have. I believe it's up on the
go to,
store page
Microsoft's
for the
store
Windows
page.
10 store.
Okay,
Yeah,
got it.
But I don't have them at the top of my head right now.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah. I can tell you that they're quite reasonable. Right? I mean, the game is built to kind of scale its graphical fidelity, so it runs on very modern hardware.
Excellent.
And a lot of that is just we have to do the work anyway because we run the gamut from the original Xbox through the Xbox S.
Yep.
And up to the Scorpio.
Yeah.
Right. And so already we've had to kind of instrument the game to support those various hardware configurations. So that makes it a little easier.
Well, that was very nice to her, but she's just burning a little.
Oh, down she went. You just killed your own person.
No.
Oh, no,
She's
sorry. I was looking at
She's
the wrong
right
one.
there. She's
Yeah, okay.
fine.
All right.
Everything's fine.
Everything is fine.
All right, Blaze of Glory, time to go out. What's you got one last trick up your sleeve, Richard?
Let's see what this guy has going on.
I mean, a gas station. Can we get some explosive, some fun going there?
They're all tapped.
Now's when we need the feral.
Yeah. Now would be a great time for.
Oh, Juggernaut.
How about that?
Where?
All right.
Right around the boat.
How much chaos can you create around the Juggernaut who hasn't seen you yet?
Oh gosh. Okay. Let's see what I get.
Fire in the hole!
Well, he's mad now.
I was bored, so I went out and found a few things. You're welcome.
There's 3 of us. That
That's
will
true.
hopefully-
Oh, got just belly bopped there.
That's the other thing, right? There's 3 of us. Like he just takes out 2 of us at once. He's a community wrecker. You have to be super careful around these guys.
Oh no!
Oh, nice move.
Oh,
Yeah.
still got.
She's nimble, but she got caught.
What's that? What's the? Is that like a napalm grenade you've got on you right now?
This one here?
On
Yeah.
RB.
Yeah.
And you're right.
Friendly fire.
Burn it. Ooh, yes.
Get him. Oh, you can't get in
go in
there.
there.
Can't get in there. Yeah.
Get in there, do it.
Look at him burn. Oh man!
Praise of glory.
Nicely done. And with that,
There you go.
we wrap
Could have
up
asked for
our,
better than that. Look, he's still burning.
our 65-minute live stream of State of Decay 2. Richard Foge, Jeff Strain. Guys, thank you so much. It's been a great month of covering
Thank
this
you,
game
Ryan.
with
Yes,
you
thank you
guys.
so
It's
much.
been a thrill for me and for IGN to really be the first people to show off what you guys have been working on for so long. You know, we're such huge fans of the original that it was a no-brainer for us to want to show this game off. And hey, look, a bloater. And boy, we're really going out in style here. Oh! So if you've missed any of our month of IGN first coverage, I encourage you to look on, there's a playlist of all our videos on our YouTube page. You can also find everything, of course, on IGN.com. And we'll look for State of Decay 2, playable at PAX East.
PAX East, come see us.
Come see us.
And then the full
We'll be in
game,
the Microsoft booth.
the full game, $30 for your standard version, and $50 for that Ultimate Edition that it comes with a bunch of extras and future goods as well.
Yes.
Jeff, thank you so
Thank
much.
you, Ryan. Greatly
Richard,
appreciated.
pleasure, and we'll see everybody next time with more. We're hardly done. We're just getting started with State of Decay 2.
Okay.